Here we go. Wigan. Hello everybody, welcome back to Conor here, All Leeds TV. Apologies if I sound a bit bunged up, full of cold, absolutely full of it. But at the end of the day, buzzing about yesterday's win. So let's get on to it. We're going to get on to the first half and then we're going to go through the game. Leeds were brilliant. I say brilliant, but I don't think we needed to step out of first gear, really. And I think that's been a coherent theme sort of throughout the season now. We've not, Bristol City, we didn't really step out of second gear. Forest, we definitely didn't step out of second gear. Salford, obviously, we didn't. And now today, and you're feeling that Leeds are able to get the job done now without getting into fourth, fifth gear, which I think a lot of teams will need to do in this division. I think the decision-making is getting a lot better. The final third is definitely getting a lot better as well. And it was a little bit of a lesson for Leeds today in regards to how to treat Wigan and how to go at them. The first half was all about Leeds United controlling that game, getting hold of the ball, doing our thing, maintaining possession, but also being critical and clinical in that final third. Contrary to a lot of reports, whilst watching the game, I didn't massively think at the start Douglas and Harrison were linking up that well. But as the game grew on, they got stronger and stronger and stronger. I even put outwards, I wasn't sure that Harrison had that good a game. Watched the game back, and he really was brilliant. I watched the game in parts, obviously, because we couldn't really get a stream for it, unfortunately. But we managed to get one. We watched the game back again, and he really was good, a lot better. And Harrison's definitely got much, much better. And it's a real headache for Marcelo Bielsa now with Helder Costa in the ring. Obviously, the game started, and the first half was really interesting, because as I've said, Leeds took control of the game. But straight away, you could see exactly how Wigan were going to take hold of this game. It was sort of foul after foul after foul. Madeley was just, he's a referee who's going to consistently give fouls away all the time anyway. You see it throughout, even when he's had his tenure in the Premier League, League One, even the Championship, he loves giving a foul. And it was a very scrappy game at the start. And I did actually wonder, is this going to be one of those games? Is this going to be one of those games where Leeds are knocking on the door, but we can't get through? And it really did seem like that at the start. What Wigan were doing, they were absorbing the pressure, absorbing it. Leeds weren't really getting that many shots on goal. They were hitting it to the big man Kiefer Moore, and you started seeing a little bit of a pattern of play here. The big man up front was obviously going to be a target. You sort of saw Evans and Jacobs really nitty-gritty fouls consistently. The ref giving them leeway, but then eventually they got the yellow cards, and it started becoming a little bit more of a feisty affair. Obviously, the sending off did happen, which was, obviously, it benefited Leeds, but I tell you what, who got shades of last year when that happened? I was terrified. Wigan got a man sent off and I wanted them to keep that man on. Listen, but they've got a perfect strategy for that. Not a lot of teams are going to be able to adapt to that. And in that first half, you could see Wigan were able to do that. Still had pace on the wings, still deployed that Massey tactic, which they did at Ellen Road. But they had a big man up front in Kiefer Moore. Whenever Leeds were pressurising them, pressure, they were able to relieve that by getting it straight to Kiefer Moore's feet, then joining him. Jacobs and Evans were doing a really good job in actually getting round Kiefer Moore every time the ball was played out to him. It was sort of route one Wigan, but what do you expect with 10 men? It really was 4-4-1. And after the sending off, which was a sending off, it was a horrendous tackle, and I think Williams was getting a bit too much into the game. Leeds were keeping the ball off him, Forshaw click, Hernandez sort of dictating that middle, and you saw Williams, Evans, Jacobs are all a very, very similar three. They sort of lost it a little bit. The discipline was lost, the yellow card, and then the red card came, and it was a shocking tackle. And I got a little bit worried at one point, obviously towards the back end of the half. Ben White did get yellow carded, Andy Madeley with these cards. I was worried that he was going to even it up. But the 34th minute happened, ball was played in from that right-hand side, Forshaw steaming him, no one picking him up. He had to score, and he missed, he hit the post, and it came to Bamford, and I genuinely thought he'd missed. He was 2 yards out, and it hit the side net, and I thought, Jesus Christ. But it did creep him. It was a nice little finish, a nice little confidence boost for both players. Forshaw getting in that position, which we didn't see a lot of last year, sort of the 10, the 8, was really good to see, and Bamford getting his goal in the 34th minute, and you thought, right, cruise control. We had chances. Harrison got into a really good position in the 46th minute, and I thought, just pull the trigger. He tried to pull it back, sometimes overplaying on that left-hand side, I feel, Harrison, who actually had a very, very good game, but sometimes the subject of overplaying. Didn't play the ball in, it got intercepted, and you thought, was that a big chance? Another chance in the 47th minute, the ball came to Pablo Hernandez, left foot, tame effort, and you thought, is this going to be one of those days for Leeds? Anyway, the second half started, and I would have liked to have seen the introduction of Helder Costa and Eddie Nketiah straight away, to be honest. They had 10 men, it was 4-4-1, 2 banks of 4, and I thought it'd have been really good to get Eddie on and Costa on to completely stretch that game. But Bielsa didn't, and that is why Bielsa is a manager, and I am in my bedroom. Excellent decision by Bielsa. I thought Harrison grew, Douglas and Harrison on that side really grew, and it's interesting to see, where does Helder Costa get in right now? But the game just grew and grew and grew. Leeds in the midfield started taking control. In that first half, I wasn't sure Click had that much of a good game, and I don't think he did today as well. I think Forshaw was definitely the enforcer in that midfield there, and he really is staking a claim to be in that side week in, week out now. We sort of got into the second half, and it progressed and progressed and progressed, and it was the same thing really. Leeds was knocking on the door, trying to get the second, and then the second did come. Wonderful ball in by Douglas, who's set pieces. Leeds' set pieces looked very good yesterday, very good. The custom corners, which I've been shouting out for weeks now, the custom corner where Leeds don't just lump it in the box because we don't have the height to do that. We need to manipulate the ball into that box, whether it be a short corner, whether it be a drilled cross, whether it be a whip cross. We need to steady it up a little bit. We need to change it up a little bit. And it looked like we did that yesterday. A lot of short balls, a lot of drilled balls in as well from Douglas and Phillips. The ball was drilled into the near post, and it was definitely a tactic by Leeds United. Bamford ran across and sort of bundled the ball into the net, but it doesn't matter. They've gone in. It went in. It's 3-3 for Paddy Bamford. And that's how the game went, really. The game just kind of progressed on that ember. Leeds were dominating. Wigan couldn't really get a touch of the ball. It was a really professional performance from Leeds United. Even at the DW last season, I thought we looked a little bit shaky at the back. I really did. But Ben White is just an absolute monster, and I'll get onto him in my full-time thoughts. Yes, guys, so my final thoughts. I'm just going to go over a few of the players. I just wanted to touch on Kiko Casilla. Obviously, he got his clean sheet yesterday. Pulled off some decent catches as well. I was really impressed with him coming out of his box and actually catching the ball. Every time he comes out, I absolutely crap myself. But he did come out and retrieve the ball on 2 occasions where Kiefer Moore was looking dangerous. Second player, obviously, Benjamin Maldini-White. Unbelievable again. I saw a lot of people actually on Twitter turning around and saying, that it wasn't his best game. You look at who he was coming up against, and it was direct competition, really, between him and Kiefer Moore. What I loved about him and Cooper is they seem to have this understanding. It's the second ball. I don't think Cooper and Janssen had that understanding. Every time White goes in for a header, Cooper is within a yard of him, and it is so interesting. They are within touching distance of each other. So if that ball drops, it's either Cooper's or it's White's. And like I said, he was just instrumental today. I think that partnership is becoming one of the best and will be one of the best in the Championship. It is a fantastic partnership. They're so calm, composed and steady on the ball. Liam was fantastic once again, and him and Ben are really forming a very, very good partnership at the base for Leeds United. Another one as well, Douglas. He's sort of quietly getting into it this season. He started a little bit meh, but he had a couple of free kicks today where he looked dangerous. His set pieces, he got an assist. That is what we want to see from Barry Douglas, and he looked very assured today. Jack Harrison, obviously, I put out on Twitter, the first half, I didn't think he was as good as he was when he got into that second half. The second half, he progressed. I thought he looked much better, much more dangerous. But, he was brilliant today, and he really is staking a claim to have that spot over Helder Costa. You can't really argue with it, can you? Adam Forshaw, another one I want to shout out as well. Adam Forshaw was brilliant again today, box to box, and he's becoming an absolutely influential part of that midfield three now. He's staking a claim week in, week out. He's that assured man, but he's getting forward now. He's taking shots off with his right, his left. He's getting into the box. He's causing problems. It's a headache for the opposition when Adam Forshaw is another man to mark, and he was really unlucky today not to get a goal. So finally on the players, Patrick Bamford got his 2 goals, 3 goals in 3 now. We've said that we want him to be an 18-20 goal a season striker, and I think he will get to that. He is sort of a 1 in 2, 1 in 3 striker. But the best part of Leeds now is you look at that bench yesterday. When you have Jack Clark missing out, obviously because of the loan scheme, it's not an international thing now, so Leeds actually have more loan players than are required basically for a matchday squad. But it's so interesting that he misses out, a Premier League player, a Premier League winger now, which is what we class Jack Clark as. Very, very interesting how he just misses out, and I think that just shows the depth and quality of the Leeds United bench now. And the team is playing as well as they are now, top of the league. I love how we're silently doing it now. We're not saying Leeds top of the league or anything like that now. It's quiet because we know what happened last year. We know it is a full season thing. I think the fans are now realising that Leeds for the past 4 or 5 years, we always start off like absolute hellfire and then we taper off, and I think all the opposition fans understand that as well. It's so interesting how we're just quietly doing our business now. We're not playing at the best of our abilities yet. We've still not hit top gear, but we are getting the results. We're getting key results, and we do sit top of the table. You know, we've brought in, for me, a better centre-back than we had last year. We've brought in depth. And, you know, let me just go through this bench for you guys. You know, Meisler in net, the goalkeeper who played in the French League last year. You've got Jamie Shackleton, who is immense and one of my favourite players at the club and can be played in pretty much any position. Berardi, obviously, scoring midweek and was captain midweek and is essentially our next centre-back. Bogus, who is going to be the next big thing, the Polish superstar. And Nketiah and Costa. So the bench is looking absolutely ridiculously strong now, and it really is positive going into the season. So guys, my final section of this review is going to be my man of the match. I'm going to give my man of the match today to Ben White again. A lot of people saying it wasn't one of his best games today, but to keep Kiefer Moore, a 6'6" striker, absolutely in your pocket. I just think the kid's immense, and he's so classy on the ball, and I love it when fans are like, you know, you're overstating the hype. Wait till you get up against him. He's had so many strikers now in his back pocket. He's only a young kid, and he's going to go on to absolutely massive things. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. A little bit different, and it's come out a little bit later. I am a little bit bunged up, so for me, would you put a like on this video? A lot of editing, a lot of effort goes in by all of the gang down at All Leeds TV. We will have our championship review as well coming out later on, filmed by the All-Star, that is Oscar. I hope you've enjoyed this, guys. As I said, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in a bit.